afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NASDAQ. My name is Brandis DeSimone, and I'm Research Frontiers Relationship Manager. And we are so excited to have you all with us here today to help us close the market here at NASDAQ. Without further ado, I'd now like to welcome up Jay Heller, our executive host, to make some remarks. Thanks, Jay.
Well, thank you, Brandis. Well, hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Good afternoon. We are truly excited that you could join us right here from the crossroads of the world in Times Square, New York, as we get ready to ring today's closing bell. Now, it is my great pleasure to welcome Research Frontiers Chief Executive Officer and President Joe Harary, their Chairman Bob Sachs, members of the Research Frontiers Board of Directors, their executive management team, and company employees to the NASDAQ market site. Now, also joining us today is internationally known architect James Bieber. Now, his firm is based right here in Manhattan and won the design competition and was selected by the U.S. State Department to design the USA Pavilion at the Milan World's Fair. Now, nearly 20 years ago, Research Frontiers joined NASDAQ's family of innovative growth companies, and we've had the privilege to work with Joe and his team, and the Research Frontiers has continued to grow and continue to innovate as NASDAQ-listed companies. Now, Research Frontiers, SPD, Smart Technology, has also become the world's best-selling smart window technology. It is now used in 4 different car models from Mercedes and can be found on jets, yachts, and is also protecting priceless artifacts in private collections and museums around the world, including the Smithsonian in Washington and the Brooklyn Museum. Now, also along the way, it has created jobs and the products made using their SPD Smart Glass technology and has contributed to making homes, offices, boats, aircrafts, and cars much safer and, of course, more comfortable, as well as energy efficient. Now, today we are here to celebrate that success and the grand opening of the USA Pavilion at Expo Milano 2015 and the pivotal role that Research Frontiers has played in this creative endeavor. NASDAQ is truly honored to have James Bieber and the Research Frontiers team here with us today to celebrate the use of the Research Frontiers SPD Smart Glass technology and the largest smart glass roof at the World USA Pavilion at the upcoming Milan World's Fair. Now, everybody, please join me in welcoming Joe Harary, Chief Executive Officer and President of Research Frontiers, to the podium for further comments. Come on up.
Thanks, everyone. It's great to be here. I can't say enough about how great a partner NASDAQ has been over the years. Not only listing our stock, but also just all the support you've given us. We couldn't have done it without you guys. Feeding the world is a monumental task. By the year 2050, there will be an estimated 9 billion mouths to feed in this world. Producing enough food to feed the planet is certainly a challenge. But currently, there's not even enough energy to produce the food needed to feed these 9 billion people. The theme of the Milan World's Fair, Expo Milano 2015, is to show what the countries of the world are doing today to plan for this. Communicating the issues and the solutions is an important part of solving the world's hunger problems. With vision and firmness of purpose, James Bieber Architects, Mitchell Davis from the James Beard Foundation, Dorothy Hamilton from the ICC, and Charlie Fass and teams of dedicated people took on this project that was so important to the world. It was no easy task. When I was growing up, the U.S. was known as a major exporter of food such as wheat to the rest of the world. But somehow, America has become better known as the inventor of fast food. There's so much more to American cuisine than that, and the USA Pavilion does a beautiful job of showing this. As the world's melting pot, our regional cuisines are as diverse as our people. The USA Pavilion also does a wonderful job of showing how America invented key food production technology to increase the productivity of farms all over the world. While an American farmer used to produce enough food to feed 19 people, today, because of technology, that same farmer can feed 155 people. The USA Pavilion is a 35,000 square foot sustainable structure inside Expo Milano. Today marks the estimated 2 millionth visitor who will visit Expo Milano. And I heard today, Jim, that you guys actually had to close the front gates because of the crowds at the USA Pavilion. So way to go, that's great news. When these visitors touch the tablet on the roof terrace, that visitor will be able to change the tint of the roof instantly, controlling heat, light, and glare. That visitor will join the 25 million other people expected to visit Expo Milano 2015 from May through October and see for themselves that what the United States is doing to feed the world's hungry, to save energy that can be rededicated to food production, and to simply see how smart their glass can be. Now I'd like to introduce you to the man who designed this impressive space, which, to use James Bieber's words, reflects the constant dialogue between nature and science at the USA Pavilion. He also epitomizes the entrepreneurial spirit that permeates most successful technology companies, a man of vision, of determination, and one who, where anything short of excellence is not acceptable. Jim, you lived the last few years with a countdown clock instead of an alarm clock waking you up each morning, or perhaps in the middle of the night. And unlike other country pavilions at the Milan World's Fair, you were ready on opening day. Although the task was a Herculean one, in the past 10 months that we've worked so closely together, you did it all with a smile, with confidence in your mission, and a passion for what you were doing. The results speak for themselves, and I speak for our founder and chairman, Bob Sachs, our board of directors, and our entire company to say what a true pleasure it was for Research Frontiers, Hitachi Chemical, and Isoclima to be involved with the USA Pavilion and its important mission. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce you to Jim Bieber, the architect of the USA Pavilion.
Well, thank you everybody for coming. You know, just 2 weeks ago, Expo Milano 2015 opened to the public, and our pavilion, the USA Pavilion, which opened 15 minutes early, by the way, raised its enormous hangar doors, comically large hangar doors, some say, to a flood of visitors. The expo is huge. The main pedestrian-tinted walkway is 100 feet wide and a mile long. There are very few places to sit and rest, and fewer to get an aerial view of this entire site, except at the USA Pavilion, where our shaded roof terrace, 10,000 square feet of terrace, has become the roof party at the expo. And that party is made possible in part by the largest smart glass canopy ever created, allowing us to control almost down to the square meter the sun and shade and ultimately the comfort of all the visitors of the roof terrace. And because we can control each of the 312 enormous panes of glass individually, we can create limitless number of patterns and animations to keep the roof terrace feeling alive. And you know, we think of it as a gigantic video monitor with pixels the size of small cars. You know, movement is a really big part of our pavilion. Visitors arrive up a long ramp made of salvaged lumber from the Coney Island Boardwalk, milled by Saltkill lumber, I should say. They travel to the roof in transparently enclosed Otis elevators and escalators, and one side of the pavilion is a waving vertical farm as long as a football field. But the smart glass roof canopy, described by one New York Times reporter as made of winking glass panels, is the only truly digital part of the piece of the architecture at the pavilion. And all of that is due to Research Frontiers here and Isoclima in Italy, who became sponsors of the USA Pavilion when I approached them to feature smart glass on the roof. And thanks to them, to Joe Harari, CEO of Research Frontiers, and Alberto Bertolini of Isoclima in Italy, we have that roof. And so, you know, it takes una città to make a pavilion, and there are a lot of people to thank for making the pavilion possible. We got involved, as Joe said, thanks to Mitchell Davis, EVP of the James Beard Foundation, and Dorothy Hamilton, founder of the ICC. And ultimately, the Friends of the USA Pavilion, the group that was put together to build the pavilion and operate the pavilion, led by CEO Charlie Fass. But our client has always been the USA. And those are, the USA, all of you, are ably represented by the State Department and our Commissioner General, Douglas T. Hickey, and in Milan by Consul General Philip Rieker and Deputy Commissioner Elliot Tello. And then from my own office, I really have to thank Dan and Jackie and Stephen and Suzanne and Rowan here today, who, for their contributions and for their very clever, thank you, yeah, absolutely. And for all the clever things they did with smart glass as well. GE for their programming of the controls and allowing this thing to really move. To Think, and Molly McGuire's here, for all of the incredible, Molly McBride, sorry, for all the incredible interpretations of deep content into, complex content into fun. D-Land for making the vertical farm outstanding and delicious. The feature length of the entire pavilion. Pentagram designed the logo, for which I'm sure we got this project. And all of our Milan-based contributors, Genius Loci Architectura and so on. You should all go to Milan. You should all see this expo. It's really awesome. It's like a brand new city filled with more design than you could possibly see in a couple of days, and the food is actually pretty good too. And when you're there, you should go to the Food Truck Nation nearby, serving up to 5,000 meals a day. You should go to the James Beard American Restaurant in the Galleria in Milan, and where 50 American Michelin star chefs will be featured. But mostly you should go to the roof of the USA Pavilion, and I hope to see you there, sitting in the shade. I will be the one sipping the Negroni. You will recognize me, and I hope to see you all there. It's fantastic. Thanks so much.
Well, gentlemen, everything that Research Frontiers is doing, as well as the USA Pavilion, truly innovative in what we think of when we think of NASDAQ-listed companies, and hopefully, maybe down the line, a potential NASDAQ-listed company. But for today,
right.
We want to present you both with the NASDAQ closing bell crystal. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
S&P settling out at 2120. This is a record close for the index.
And a new record for the S&P 500 index. Does that lead to higher prices as we break out of the recent trading range? That's a question to be answered beginning tomorrow. But right now, stay tuned for a whole lot more earnings and Barney Frank on investing in infrastructure in this country on the second hour of the closing bell with Kelly Evans.